For the financial year ended 31st December 2023, and today we have three councils that will be making an appearance before the Committee on Local Government Accounts, starting with Lunga Town Council, and they're being led by Mr. Dominic Kapufi, who's the Lunga Town Council Secretary. I'm Claudette Sindazo Jonga. I'll be with you until lunchtime, together with my two sign language interpreters, as usual, Jason Manda and Chola Kauma. Just now we cross over live to the Committee on Local Government Accounts.
Lunga Town Council, you are welcome to your Committee on Local Government Accounts. Before we start our meeting, we would like to extend the immunities that members of Parliament enjoy when they sit in Parliament and in committees, to the extent that whatever you say before this committee cannot be used against you in the courts of law or outside this meeting. However, the same Cap 12 can be used against you if you willfully choose to give false information or mislead this committee. It is our belief and my belief too that you will not go the latter way, but to share with information that will help us to do a report that we shall present before the main house. With that said, I would like to welcome you to your committee, Council Secretary and your team. Be calm. You are not in court. You are here to share with us as to how the CDF for 2023 was administered in LUNGA Council. With that said, I would like to ask you to introduce yourselves by giving your name and your position individually, starting with the Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. My name is Kapumfi Dominic Chambala, the acting CS for LUNGA Town Council. And good morning, permanent witnesses. Good morning, Secretariat. Good morning, committee members. Thank you.
Where is the Council Secretary? The one who was there in 2023.
The one who was there in 2023, right now as a medical condition, is not in the position to respond.
Okay, so that's why you are acting?
I'm acting in view of promotion, a substantive promotion.
Okay, that is okay.
Good morning, committee and chairperson. My name is Chilando Vincent, acting director of finance. And good morning, permanent witnesses and everyone around here. Thank you.
Even yourself, you're acting?
Yes, sir.
Substantive order?
The substantive order is still on leave.
Another acting?
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of Parliament. Good morning, permanent witnesses and everyone around. I'm Longa Silwenga, Acting Director, Human Resource, LUNGA Town Council. The current acting CS was Director of Administration and Human Resource. So I've been appointed to act, maybe with a view for substantive promotion.
So you're acting in his position?
Yes, sir.
You're acting in what? You can introduce yourself.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, members of the committee. Good morning, permanent witnesses. Good morning, the clerk of the committee. Good morning, listeners and viewers out there. I'm Tsenga Vincent, Director Planning for LUNGA Town Council.
Yeah, you are not acting.
No.
That's good. Okay.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, everyone. I'm Brolford Ndovani, the internal auditor.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. I'm Marvin Chilangi, Director Engineering for LUNGA Town Council.
Behind there, you can use the mic that side. You can walk there.
Good morning, Chair.
Good morning.
Distinguished members of the committee. I'm Mr. Penjan Ngambi, Council Advocate, LUNGA Town Council. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning to the committee. Good morning to the independent witnesses. Good morning to the viewers and listeners out there. I'm Philamba Innocent Pengele, Senior Procurement Officer, LUNGA Town Council.
Thank you. These microphones are flexible, so usually we are live on TV, so you put them near your mouth so that you are audible enough, not very close, but somewhere where the Yes, the TV can pick you and radio. That is guidance. Now, can we have our permanent witnesses, starting with AG's office?
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the committee and my colleagues as permanent witnesses. LUNGA CS, good morning with your team. You are welcome. My name is Daka Godfrey, Director, Office of the Auditor General, Luapula Province.
Thank you. Behind there.
Good morning, Chair. Good morning, honorable members of the committee. CS and your team, good morning. My name is Chishimba Mwewa, Assistant Director in the Office of the Auditor General.
Good morning. I'm Lovinda Sinyani from the Planning and Research Department in the Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Yes, good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. Good morning, Acting CS and your management team. My name is Lenga Chama. I'm from the Office of Accountant General.
Good morning, Chair, this morning, and good morning, LUNGA and everyone. My name is Jeffan Siame from the Office of Control of Internal Audit, Ministry of Finance.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, and good morning to you and the honorable members of the committee. Morning, Secretariat and the fellow permanent witnesses. LUNGA Town Council, you are welcome to your session. I'm Kazinga Kennedy from Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, honorable members. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Mutali Mishek from the Local Government Service Commission. Thank you. Thank you, Secretariat.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good morning, Chair. Good morning, everyone. My name is Keke Makua from Office of the Clerk.
Thank you so much, Chairperson, and greetings to you and other honorable members and our permanent witnesses, CS and your team. Good morning to you. I am Chidimboi Elijah from the Office of the Clerk of National Assembly, and you are welcome. Thank you so much, Chairperson.
Honorable Member for Mangango.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good morning to you, Chair. Morning, LUNGA Town Council. Morning, our permanent witnesses, fellow honorable members of Parliament. Good morning to you too. Our viewers and the listeners out there, good morning to you as well. Please keep on following us as we proceed in our deliberations from Parliament main buildings. I'm Luhamba Mwene, Member of Parliament for Mangango. Thank you.
Mfumbwe.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning, everyone. And the LUNGA Town Council, you're welcome to your committee. My name is Edward Kamondo. I'm Member of Parliament for Mfumbwe constituency. Thank you.
Chavunga.
Chairperson, I thank you, and good morning, everyone. My name is Mulunda Darius, Member of Parliament for Siavonga constituency. Chairperson, I thank you.
Honorable Member for Mitete. Mitete, good morning. Okay, is the only one? Okay. He will join us. We have one member for Mitete who is connecting virtually, so you follow the proceedings as we go. My name is Mishek Mutetwa Nyambose. I represent the good people of Chasefu constituency in the eastern part of Zambia, and I'm a member. I'm the chairperson of this committee. Council Secretary, you are welcome once again. You can take us through your report.
Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Already.
The report is starting on page 3, which read implementations of approved projects. Then we go into page 4.
So as a matter of guidance, Council Secretary, the way we proceed, on page 3, you read the title of the query being delayed implementation of approved projects. Then you go to management response, action taken, and remedial measures.
Thank you very much, Chair. So on page 3, delayed implementations of approved projects. That's cause of query. Then we go into management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to respond as follows. On number 1, type of project, procurement of an ambulance. The cause of query. Lunga Town Council, through the Constituent Development Fund Committee, set aside funds for the procurement of an ambulance boat. However, following the intention of government to procure ambulances centrally and the specification of the same, it was discovered that the funds set aside by the CDFC was not sufficient for the procurement of the same. Action taken. Management applied to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development for a change of specifications from an ambulance to an ordinary boat to be used as an ambulance until the ambulances are procured centrally. The application was approved and the boat has since been procured and delivered to Lunga. Find attached Appendix 1. Number 2, construction of a theatre with equipment. Cause of query. The community of Kasomalunga had applied for the construction of an operational theatre at Kasomalunga Rural Health Center, and the project was approved at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Since these are specialized works, the management requested for standard drawings and specifications for the civil works and specifications for equipment from the Ministry of Health. The standard drawings and specifications provided by the Ministry were for a bigger institution than what was budgeted for by the local authority. Therefore, the project could not be implemented. Action taken. Management has obtained standard drawings and specifications obtained from the Department of Infrastructure for a smaller theatre which will be constructed as soon as the procurement process is completed. Find attached Appendix 2. Chief's Palace. Cause of query. Government guided that council should set aside the funds for the construction of chief's palaces. It further guided that procurement of this project would be done centrally by the Zambia Correction Service, who has since not done the works. Action taken. Site handover for the construction of the chief's palace has been done. However, the Zambia Correction Services has not mobilized to site, despite having been on site to do assessments in November 2024. Further, the provincial engineer, who is the project manager, has recommended for the termination of the contract due to failure to perform the contract. Find attached Appendix 3. Number 4, rural electrification. Cause of query. Government guided that council should set aside the funds for the installation of the rural electrification. It further guided that the procurement of this project will be done centrally, i.e. rural electrification by Rural Electrification Authority. Action taken. A memorandum of understanding has been signed between the Rural Electrification Authority and Lunga Town Council for the installation and expenditure under the 2023 CDF allocation. The RIA has so far installed the power grid, and the remaining works is installation of the power plant. Further, the Rural Electrification Authority has advertised for the supply, delivery, installation, and commissioning of a 4x20 kWp solar mini grid power system in Lunga District. Find attached Appendix 4. Number 5, procurement of speedboat. Once approval was granted for the procurement of the boat, Lunga Town Council advertised for the procurement of the boat in the Times newspaper. It is called for an open national bidding because of the amount involved, but did not receive any favorable response from Mode B suppliers. Action taken. Management sought for authority to direct bid through the procurement committee, and after the authority was granted, the boat has since been procured. Find attached Appendix 5. Number 6, construction of a health post or PD annex. After getting the approval for the construction of OPD annex at Mutoni Rural Health Post and preparing to implement, the local authority received a notification from central government through the Office of District of Health Director that the project was already funded under central government and must not be implemented under CDF. Action taken. The status regarding the project remained the same, as the Ministry of Health is maintaining that the contractor will mobilize to site and construct the OPD annex. Further, management has engaged the WDC to change the project to any desirable project. Find attached Appendix 6. 7. Construction of health post or PD annex. After getting the approval for the construction of OPD annex at Itala, supposed to be Itala there, Chair, and not Mutoni. Supposed to be Itala Rural Health Post. It was a typo error. And preparing to implement, the local authority received a notification from central government through the Office of District of Health Director that the project was already funded under central government and must not be implemented under CDF. The status regarding the project remained the same. The Ministry of Health is maintaining that the contractor will mobilize to site and construct the OPD annex. Further, management has engaged the WDC to change the project to any desirable project. Find attached Appendix 7. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to implement all the approved projects within the period they are supposed to be implemented and hand them over to the end users in order to reduce on their foreseen costs that come with inflation. B. Delayed completion of approved projects, 2022 approved projects. Management response on page 8. Because of query, management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to respond that the query was caused by delayed completion of the project by the contractor due to lack of commitment despite several extensions, and advising to speed up the work so as to deliver on time. Action taken. Management has since written to the contractor with intentions of termination of the contract due to lack of performance, and management awaits the response. However, management is in the process of taking the matter to procurement committee for possible termination. Find attached Appendix 8. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to put in strict measures that will deter contractors from stalling the project, as well as enhance on the monitoring and supervision of all the ongoing projects within the district. Number 2, source of delayed construction of a health post at Mungomba. Management response. Management acknowledged the auditor's findings and wishes to respond that the query was caused by delayed completion of the project by the contractor due to lack of commitment, infused by the contractor's claim that the contract sum was not enough to complete the project. However, several extensions have been granted and advice given to speed up the work so as to deliver in time could not yield success. Action taken. Management has since written to the contractor with the intention of termination of the contract due to lack of performance. Management awaits the response. However, management in the process of taking the matter to procurement committee for possible termination. Find attached Appendix 9. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to put in strict measures that will deter contractors from stalling the projects, as well as enhance the monitoring and supervision of all the ongoing projects within the district. Soft loans and utilized loan funds. Management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to respond that the query was caused by failure to disburse 452,135 for soft loans allocated for the years 2022 and 2023 due to the following reasons. Reluctance by the community to apply for the loans, bearing in mind that they are supposed to pay back as compared to empowerment grants. Bank vetting processes which screened other applicants and marked them as unsuccessful due to failure to meet the standard requirements. Action taken. Management had embarked on massive sensitization of the soft loan subcomponent of the CDF to would-be beneficiaries, hence the overwhelming number of successful applicants, attributing to the disbursement of unutilized funds totaling 452,135 in the year 2024. Find attached Appendix 10. Remedial measure. Management shall continue to sensitize the communities on the importance of getting the loans as an intervention to boost the business, in return ameliorating their life situations and ensure that they are disbursed on time to avoid audit queries. Failure to give feedback to unsuccessful applicants. Management response. Management acknowledged the auditor's findings in the period under review and wishes to respond that there was a lapse in communication, as only the list of successful applicants for the soft loans was published and displayed in public places within Lunga district, i.e. the civic center, market, schools, and in various wards. Action taken. Management has since given feedback to all unsuccessful applicants of soft loans in the period under review and were encouraged to reapply in the subsequent year. Find attached Appendix 11. Remedial measure. Management shall endeavor to ensure that feedback to unsuccessful applicants is given in time. Cross-cutting findings on failure to spend. Management response. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to say that the failure to spend was the result of the retained funds by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development amount to 1,052,432, which was withheld for the purpose of the construction of chief palaces and insurance of motor vehicles. Further, the balance on the 2023 CDF funding against expenditure was the result of CDF programs that were ongoing at the end of 2023. Action taken. Management wishes to report that a reconciliation of 2023 CDF performance has been completed and the results are shown in the table below. Find attached Appendix number 12. Remedial measure. Management to endeavor to engage central government to expedite all procurement goods and services being done centrally so that the council can be scoring progressive impacts. Chief's palaces. Management response. Cause of query. This one here is similar to the first one.
So you skip those which have already been
Thank you for
dealt
guidance.
with.
Thank you for guidance, Chair. I go to Page 15 on unspent funds. The cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wishes to say that the failure to spend or the amount totaling to 32,145,698 was a result of committed funds meant for community projects, loans, grants, bursaries, and disaster components, which were not spent due to the following: on community projects, short project implementation cycles, of which the main is restricted to periods when water levels are adequate to support movements by contractors who face challenges of not accessing the sites. Lack of local commercial and industrial base to support the quick supply of building materials. Challenges faced by contractors to complete projects attributed to adverse impact of the economic factors. And implemented centrally procured projects. On loans, majority of the applicants were not compliant with the bank requirement, and they had left out certain documents such as proof of residence and proof of not being in employment. Bank processes were another driving factor. Community skepticism also delayed access to loans by community of Lunga, as people were not sure that government could give genuine loans to them. On bursaries, though assimilation rate on bursaries by beneficiaries from communities of Lunga district. Failure to report to colleges by the students. On disaster, there was no disaster activity sent to CDFC by WDCs for approval. Action taken. Management wishes to submit to the committee the reconciled table below for their noble understanding. The table incorporates balances brought forward from the year 2022 and the 2023 funding. While it is important to know that all funds for the community projects have been committed to running projects, however, management noted the low uptake of funds under the bursary component, especially on skills development, due to opposing aspirations by the wood beneficiaries who prefer professional tertiary fields as opposed to vocational training skills. Management expedited the procurement process by having constant engagements with stakeholders such as suppliers and contractors. Increased monitoring and supervision exercise by engineering and planning departments. To date, a total of 11,768,331.87 has been spent on various projects and loans. The Council also took continuous sensitization to the residents of Lunga on the importance of vocational skills. Find attached Appendix 14. Remedial measure. Management through engineering department to continue engaging contractors in order to see improvement in contract management and issues of procurement. Management to ensure procurement processes are expedited by the way of constant review of procurement stages and approvals before funding is reached, so as to avoid unnecessary delays in implementation of the contracts when funds are available. Unspent funds. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledged the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the failure to spend was a result of the balance on the 2023 CDF funding against expenditure, which was as a result of CDF community projects that were ongoing at the end of 2023. Action taken. Management wishes to report that a reconciliation of 2023 CDF community projects has been completed, and the result are shown in the table below. The total community project funding for the year 2023 indicated in the table below includes 754,324.61 for disaster component. Despite all the challenges faced, management has managed to complete some of the projects implemented in the year under review. Find attached Appendix 15. Remedial measure. Management to endeavor to expedite expenditure on all approved projects in order to give the community the value for their money and enhance on the monitoring and supervision of all ongoing projects. Unspent funds empowerment grants. Management response. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings in the period under review and wishes to respond that the query was caused by failure to spend funds totaling to 452,090. We can add a zero there, due to low numbers of successful applicants. Action taken. Management has since disbursed the unspent funds totaling 300,000 in the year 2024, and the balance of 151,856.55 was spent this year. See the attached table below. Find attached Appendix 6. Appendix 16. Remedial measure. Management shall continue sensitizing the communities on the importance of getting the empowerment grants and ensure that empowerment grants are disbursed on time to avoid odd queries and allow beneficiaries to put their money to the intended use. Unspent funds empowerment grants. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings in the period under review and wishes to respond as follows. The query was caused by failure by management to spend funds totaling 45209 in the period under review due to low numbers of successful applicants. Action taken. Management has since disbursed the unspent funds totaling 300,000 in the year 2024, and the balance 151,856.55 was spent this year. See the attached table below, which shows the balance brought forward from 2022, amounting to 233.24 for your honorable appreciation. On the remedial measure, we fall back for the response on page 19. In the same measure, management shall continue sensitizing the communities on the importance of getting the empowerment grants and ensure that the empowerment grants are disbursed on time to avoid audit queries and allow beneficiaries to put their money to the intended use. Secondary boarding and skills development bursaries. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings in the period under review and wishes to state that the failure to spend funds totaling to 4425491 on secondary boarding and skills development bursaries was due to low assimilation rate on by beneficiaries from the communities of Lunga district. Action taken. Management has continued sensitizing the communities on the importance of applying for both secondary boarding school and school development bursaries. However, funds in question have since been varied to community projects in order to construct more boarding facilities that will see more pupils in the district apply for secondary boarding school bursaries, thereby improving the uptake. As we speak, the procurement committee sat and awarded contract to the would-be contractors, and the contracts are awaiting the approval from the Attorney General. The table below demonstrates the action management took in order to achieve the impactful progress. Find attached Appendix 18. Remedial measure. Management shall endeavor to intensify sensitization so that a good number of secondary boarding school pupils and the youth can have access to bursary, thereby improving on the uptake. Unspent funds administrative costs. Management response, cause of query. Management appreciates the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the cause of query resulted from spending above the budgeted amount. Action taken. Management took cognizance of the negative impact of the global economic crisis being experienced. However, the Council managed to reconcile the balances in respect to the administrative component, which indicates that the reported overrun is due to the balance brought forward from the year 2022. Please refer to the table below for your honorable appreciation. Find attached Appendix 19. Remedial measure. Management will continue to closely monitor and control costs so that all expenditure falls within the budgeted amounts. 2022 community projects. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's finding and wishes to say that the projects are still ongoing at various stages of completion, ranging from window to finishes level, attributed to high cost of transportation of building materials, low water levels in channel, and some extent low commitment levels on the part of some contractors. Action taken. Management wishes to report that out of the 18 projects, management has successfully completed 9 projects which have been handed over to the various end users and further written to sternly warn the other contractors with running projects of possible termination so as to encourage them to expedite the works and on ongoing projects within the allowable extended contract duration. Management wishes to report that all the 9 running projects are at various stages of completion, ranging from window level to finishes level. Find attached Appendix 20. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to award contracts when water levels are high and improve on contract management and expedite termination of contracts that have failed to perform despite several extensions, and further enhance on monitoring and supervision of project in order to see to it that contracts are delivered on time. 2023 community projects. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings and wishes to state that the projects are still ongoing and at various stages of completion, ranging from window to finishes level, attributed to high cost of transportation of building materials, low water levels in channel, and some extent low commitment levels on the part of some contractors. Action taken. Management wishes to report that out of the 17 projects, 6 projects have successfully been completed and handed over to the end users. Then 5 projects are outstanding, while the other 6 projects are ongoing. In respect of the outstanding 5 projects, 3 projects are centrally procured by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, while the other 2 projects, management has since written to WDC to seek consent to the change of the projects to any other desired community projects within the wards. Further, management has since written stern warning to the contractors for possible termination so as to encourage them to expedite the works within the allowable extended contract duration. Management wishes to report that all the 6 running projects are at various stages of completion, ranging from window level to finishes level. Find attached Appendix 21. Remedial measure. Management will endeavor to award contracts when water levels are high and improve on contract management and expedite termination of contracts that have failed to perform despite several extensions, and further enhance on monitoring and supervision of projects in order to see to it that contracts deliver on time. Analysis of performance, youth, women, and community grants. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledged the auditor's findings in the period under review and wishes to respond that the query was caused by failure to spend funds totaling 45209 due to low numbers of successful applicants. Action taken. Management has since displayed the unspent funds totaling 300,000, leaving a balance of 15209, which will be spent in the year 2025. Find attached Appendix 2022. Find attached Appendix 22. Remedial measure. Management shall endeavor to continue sensitizing the communities on the importance of getting the empowerment grants and ensure that empowerment grants are disbursed on time to avoid audit queries. failure to account for funds, management response, cause of query. Management acknowledged the auditor's findings in the period under review and wishes to respond that the query was caused by failure to account for funds by a cooperative named Longolongo, whose members changed the business line to village banking without approval from the Consular Development Fund Committee. Action taken. Management had written to Longolongo Cooperative for them to seek authority to change the intended project, minimum selling, to village banking as well as formalizing the undertaking, and warned of consequences of changing the project without the approval from the council management. Find attached appendix 2023. Remedial measure. Management to endeavor to sensitize communities' financial undertaking through financial literacy training in order that they stick to the projects for proposal they've been funded for. Performance analysis for soft loans. The table there. Management response, cause of query. Management acknowledged the auditor's finding and wishes to respond that the query resulted from the failure to display 3,227,785 for soft loans allocated for the year 2023 due to the following reasons: skepticism and reluctance by the community to apply for the loans, bearing in mind that they're supposed to pay back as compared to empowerment grants. Bank vetting processes which disqualified many applicants as successful due to failure or meeting the standard requirements. Action taken. Management has embarked on massive sensitization with soft loan subcomponent of the CDF to would-be beneficiaries, to which saw applicants in the year 2024, from which a total number of 31 beneficiaries received the loan empowerment amounting to 6,200,000, of which 7 beneficiaries were funded under 2022 and another set of 7 under 2023, from each vowed disbursing of 1,400,000 and when aggregated totaling 2,800,000. The remainder is from 2024 funding amounting to 3,400,000 for 17 beneficiaries. The above are countable pictures attributed to the positive efforts the council management has put in order for the district to appreciate the developmental program the government is implementing. The table below speaks to the reconciliation of the balances and the expenditures attributed to the years in question. As at 20th February 2025, the recovered amount was 390,278.06. Find attached appendix 24. Remedial measure. Management shall continue sensitizing the communities on the importance of getting the loans and ensure that soft loans are disbursed on time to avoid audit queries. Secondary boarding and skill development bursaries. Cause of query. Management acknowledges the auditor's findings in the period under review and wishes to respond as follows. Failure to spend funds totaling 4,425,491 on secondary boarding and skill development bursaries was due to low assimilation rate on bursaries by the beneficiaries from communities of Lunga district. 12 more pupils, which were returning students, sponsored under 2022 finding. Only 12 pupils graduated in the period under review because they were the only students who were in grade 12. Action taken. Management has continued sensitizing the communities on the importance of applying for both secondary boarding school and skill development bursaries. However, funds in question have since been varied to community projects in order to construct more boarding facilities that will see more pupils in the district apply for secondary boarding school bursaries, thereby improving the uptake. As we speak, the procurement committee sat and awarded contract to the would-be contractors, and the contractors are waiting the approval from the Attorney General. Management has reconciled and separated the 12 more pupils that were sponsored in the year under to indicate and show that they were returning pupils carried over from 2022. See the reconciliation table below. Find attached Appendix 25. Remedial measure. Management shall endeavor to intensify sensitization so that a good number of secondary boarding school pupils and the youth can have access to bursary, thereby improving on the uptake. Analysis of performance of desks. Management response. Cause of query. Management has noted the auditor's findings on the failure to deliver 1091 desks. However, management wishes to state that all the desks that were earmarked for procurement were delivered. Action taken. Management through the CDFC sought for approval of procurement desks totaling 700 from the 2022 CDF allocation and a total of 1,200 desks from the 2023 CDF allocation. Both projects were approved and the desks have since been procured and delivered to various schools in Lunga district. See the below reconciliation table on the action taken. The table below only relates to the year 2023 for your honorable appreciation. That's for the second table. Find attached Appendix 26. Remedial measure. Management to continue making sure that procurement process in respect of school desks are done on time and that all desks delivered are of good quality in order to improve the quality and standard of education in the district. In conclusion, Chairperson, management would like to thank this noble committee for according us the opportunity to appear before it and explain on the findings for the Auditor General in the 2023 Consular Development Fund report. We might have not done well in terms of response. However, it is our promise, Chairperson, and the members that we shall endeavor to work hard to attain a zero audit query in our books of accounts and governance issues so that we don't appear before this committee again after this experience. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation, Council Secretary. Now it's time for points of clarification. Honorable Mwene.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, I'd like to take the CS to page 19. No, page 18, Chair.
Page 18?
Yes. You can see, I think this query is coming from all the way from I think from page 3. But I just want to single out one, Chair, which I'm very much concerned about, because
the query is unspent funds.
Unspent funds, empowerment grants.
Okay.
This, Chair, I've seen it as one of the important things because, people in Ilunga need the empowerment. As far as I'm concerned, Chair, they need this money so that they can venture into various businesses to empower themselves with. Now I want to find out. Here you can see they had Lunga Town Council at the time of audit had a balance of 452,090 kwacha as unspent, which is totaling up to about, giving us about 21%. Now I want to find out, why is it that Lunga Town Council, you decided not to do sensitization in communities for people to take on this money so that they're able to utilize it? You have kept it up to, Chair, I can say up to this time, because as we speak, when they were directing this report, as they are seated here in this house, they still have got about on action taken, they are saying management has since disbursed the unspent funds totaling 300,000 in the year 2024, and the balance of 151,856 kwacha 55 ingwe will be spent in 2025. These are 2023 funds, Chair.
Let's hear from them.
Yes, Chair. So I want to find out why they have taken this long to disburse this money. 1, 2, why they did not do public sensitization to the people so that they are able to come, so that they are able to get this money.
Correct.
And invest it. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mwene. Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Sensitizations were really done in Lunga Town Council, not only the part of the loans alone, but as well as grants. It's only that initially, when the loan component was launched for CDF, in places like Lunga, there was a challenge. The community were, I can literally say, you are scared of getting loans because of their own understanding of the repayment, and they thought maybe it would be jailed, and they thought maybe it's not genuine money. So the council had to come in and do a lot of sensitization in our district as Lunga Town Council. That's why we see that in the following years, even the loan component was taken on board. Even the communities also applied and they got the loans. Initially, they didn't get the loans. That's in 2022.
These are grants we are talking about. Page 18.
Yes, then I'm coming back to the grants, Chairperson. I was just talking about the sensitization and how fruitful it has been from the loan component even to the grant component. Equally, the same scenario was also on the part of the grants, but through continuous sensitization, we saw that the community had to come on board, and then they even accepted that they can even get the grants as well. Because sometimes, you know, in our communities where we're coming from, the issues of just giving out money, some people are even concerned. Some they can even say, no, this money is not genuine, this money is dented. But I think I would like to engage also the director planning was part of the team that were doing the sensitization.
When you say this money is dented, how?
For them, they think it's not genuine, maybe satanic money, so we had to come in and do a lot of sensitizations because it's free money.
This is strange. I'm getting.
That's how it is in our communities where we are coming from.
I'm
So
getting it for the first time from you. How?
Okay.
Money being given as a grant to help them.
Yes.
And it's a policy of government. People have been struggling with their livelihood, where to get cheap money. Then the government, through the president, announces that we want to help the people of Zambia by giving them grants. And these grants have not started now. They were there before. And through the council, how can you bring in issues of satanic when this money is coming through the council?
Yes, those are some of the means, Chairperson, that went around informing people.
Do you have any proof to say at this meeting people are talking like that? Because you could be making a story for them.
No.
Maybe the issue is on your part. You didn't do proper sensitization. Because the moment you meet people, say, no, there's money for grants, you form clubs or cooperatives, you come and get this grant is to help you, ABCD. People have been troubling members of parliament. People have been troubling everyone to get some cheap capital. Then the government comes up, you are talking about satanism. Wow. Honorable for Mfumbwe first.
Thank you, Chairperson. This is when I'm also learning from these satanic verses. First of all, the question is, which money looks like more satanic? Is it the money where someone just comes and starts tantamen, starts giving you money? Or the money which comes through an institution, an established institution, which is the council, and which has got even a process? Which one looks like it's more satanic? Is it the one they give straightforward, or the one which... Now there, before you answer that one, I want to find out. You have told this committee that now you have done a due diligence by making sure that you sensitize the people so that they get this money. Are you telling this committee that due diligence was done at the first time and you sensitized the people? What is magic did you use, which you didn't use at the beginning, so that these people don't believe that this is satanic money?
Let's get his response before Honorable Mwene comes with the follow-up. Yes.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Sensitization is ongoing. It's not a one thing off. Even right now, we are doing sensitization on the part of grants, even loans, even other components of CDF as well. And allow me, Chairperson, to also engage the Director Planning to also add some light on this one.
You are the one director who were told that this is satanic money. We are shocked as a committee. When did the institutions established give you satanic money? In Lunga, has it happened before? That is the question that came from Honorable Kamondo. You respond, DPO. We are worried with the uptake of this. DPO, help us.
Thank you, Chair. I want to approach this response from the historical point of view. I seek your indulgence if I can go ahead.
No problem.
Thank you so much, sir. You realize that the Constituency Development Fund was established in the Third Republic, that is in 1995, and of course with the view to ensure that there is a bridge in terms of resource for the implementation of micro-community projects in various constituencies in the Republic of Zambia. And of course, from that aspect, I'm sure the disbursements were not all that substantial. And of course, we moved to the Sixth Republic, where we had seen the CDF pegged at 1.6 million per constituency. And of course, the whole idea was to ensure that micro-community projects are implemented in various constituencies. And then from there, we went into the Seventh Republic. That is where we had seen an increase of the CDF over 1,600%, which was quite a mammoth increase in the history of Zambia, from 1.6 million to 25.7 million. And of course, we had seen an accompanying enlargement in terms of the scope, where the secondary boarding school bursary and skills development bursary was brought on board. We had also seen the inclusion of youth, women and community empowerment with the sub-components of the same grants and the soft loans that we are talking about. And of course, making reference to the 1.6 disbursements of those days, they were not even consistent at times. So when we began preaching about this elephant in the room, communities could not believe it. They thought that it was just a political rhetoric. So we had to do our level best in terms of engaging in sensitizations with the community, so that they believe that this was actually the policy direction by the then government in the Seventh Republic, that we take this huge chunk of money to communities or other constituencies in the various constituencies of the Republic of Zambia, with a bid to actualize physical decentralization, as this trend of decentralization is quite a challenge to let it go.
Don't disturb him. I've given him room. No, this is good for every one of us. He's trying to build up a case. Go ahead, and you're doing very well, DPO.
Thank you so much. So, having come from a point where CDF was at 1.6, and of course there were challenges of constant disbursement, and of course coming to the 25.7 million, the general citizenry was thinking that this could just be rumors and not a reality. So I think we had faced a lot of challenges in engaging the communities that they are convinced in terms of applying for both loans and of course grants, of which in the first place we had a few applicants that succeeded in the same undertaking, and of course this signaled to the rest of the general citizens in our community that this was actually
real.
And in the subsequent years we had seen an increase in the number of applicants, and if you look at the submissions that we've done done so well in terms of disbursement in the subsequent years.
Thank you very much. And that's why people are saying maybe it is satanic, because of the huge. They never believe that there can be a government that can bring money to them and empower their lives. So I understand. You cannot fault them. The numbers, if you look at certain constituencies, even yesterday, the uptake of the loans and grants in certain districts is still very low despite the sensitization. So we have to, there's one council yesterday we're dealing with where there's no secondary school. Is it Chembe? Or they can't force people to go to secondary school. So you go and tell the people of Sama, is it LUNGA, that this is not satanic money. It's their money. It's just a generous government, and this is the ideal way of empowering the people. So you as the officers, you do more sensitization, especially that you have got the numbers that certain people who have already benefited. Tell them and make a follow-up so that those who have gotten grants, they use this money effectively to uplift their lives, so that those others can also watch their friends and say, this is happening, they should come and get this money. It's not for sharing. It's not tantameni, as he said, the other member. No, this is the money to empower them, coming from government. In certain jurisdictions, government, people get paid, those who are not working. But this government says, create a club, form a club, so that we give you empowerment to uplift your lives. So it's, the onus is on you officers. DP on your team, CS. Sensitize, we want more people to get grants in LUNGA district.
Thank you very much. Chair, I would like to urge the CS not to be tackling these questions just in a way that he thinks. The question was, why didn't you do massive sensitizations? That question, Chair, has not been answered. He starts bringing in illusions of the invisibles of Satanism that we cannot discuss, Chair, in this house. We don't accept those theories here. There's no evidence of satanic or if we ask the CS, have we ever seen Satan? Can you be able to tell this house and bring evidence of Satan here? There are issues that you can be told out there, but you cannot bring to this house because we don't discuss those matters here. No, we don't. That's why we didn't ask you any spiritual aspect of your failure to sensitize the communities. We asked you on the physical aspects. Even when we ask you for evidence on your sensitizations, when you were being given those answers that cannot be discussed here, we need evidence to say, okay, we went there, we sensitized, here is the report, here is the radio program, here are the pictures of sensitizations. Those are the things we need as evidence of your sensitizations. If you were given those illusions of invisibles that we can't prove and provide as evidence before the floor of this House, those are yours there. You can't bring them here and explain to say.
Thank you very much,
we are
Honorable
like, no.
Mwene. Can you withdraw
So-
the word Satanism?
Chairperson, I withdraw that word for
Thank you.
Satanism.
Next question. Honorable Member for
Mine actually is on loans. That one was associated to...
Council Secretary. You should be switching off your mic every time that you are not.
Mine is on loans. It is, of course, they are interrelated with the grants. But I just wanted to prove to this council that my feeling is that they still didn't do enough sensitization.
Yes.
How do I prove this one? When you look at page 10, page 10, we are talking about unutilized funds, and this is now, these are loans. I want just to tack on the loans. If we read here, Chair, through you, the council allocated amounts totaling to 60.1 million to cater for the loan disbursement during the period under review. And when the auditors went there, as at 31st December 2023, the council approved the 24 individuals and groups who applied for loans to undertake projects. The council disbursed only 1.6 to 9 successful applicants, leaving a 4.3. 4.5, yes, unutilized. Now, when you look at even what they had approved 24. And when they took these applicants or applications to the bank realized most of them actually couldn't meet the standards by the bank, so that they are issued with loans. And out of 24, how many were successful? Only 9. What does this show? And when you look at the reasons that they have given now, the other one I would not talk about it. The other one shows that these people, they didn't even have the financial literacy. They were not even told to how to write actually the project proposals. That thing was not even there. And that is the reason why actually they were not actually successful with the bank. So that to us, when you give us this report, we are reading your report, it is telling us that you didn't do enough. Because out of 24, if you had done enough, and you approved the 24 yourselves, not which were approved by the council. You yourselves as a council, you approved. And when you looked at their documents, you said these documents were okay. But the bank returned them. For me, just that is enough actually to admit that indeed at the beginning we didn't do enough. While we appreciate that the people thought that this was a satanic money, we also look at ourselves. What is it that as a council we were supposed to do, which we didn't do? No wonder the people actually even decided to think it was satanic, because you didn't give them enough information. You didn't explain. We are happy that you are doing what you are doing. But however, this from the beginning, you should have accepted that we didn't do our due diligence so that we move on. And look at the other question that I want to ask. I will not ask another on this. Is that you had also not even communicated to the unsuccessful applicants. You didn't even communicate to them. Others, they have got a very big non-group of, you didn't even communicate to them to tell them that according to the guidelines, they're saying when people apply, if they are not successful, you tell them why, the reason why they are not successful, so that they can reapply, because this money is available. When you look at why didn't you communicate to them? Until the auditors came in, that's when now you decided to communicate to them. Now the question is, among those that were not approved, after having communicated to them, how many of them have been successful this time? The applicants. Thank you.
Council Secretary.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think I'll call upon the Director Planning to respond to that.
Director Planning.
Thank you, Chair. From those that were unsuccessful, about 5 of them reapplied and they went through.
What, Honorable Kamondo, your mic? What Honorable Kamondo has asked, has indicated, is very critical. You are supposed to inform those unsuccessful candidates or maybe applicants. The reason is why is very simple. Some of them, they are turned down because on account of maybe not attaching a copy of the NRC. Simple things. So when you communicate to them that you are unsuccessful for such a reason, it helps them to reapply. And that increases the numbers of the people applying. We have, you see, what you are doing is that the government has come up with a very good policy. When people complain about expensive monies from the banks, they want to start small businesses. The government has come with this window. If it is an issue of yourselves as officers not doing your work, then you are undermining government. But when you are effective in your sensitization, you see the numbers increase. We have observed as your committee here that even those councils who are not doing much in ensuring that people are paying their loans, are repaying the loans, the moment councils undertake sensitization or go around, there is an increment in the response. So even yourselves, you must be effective. Communication is there, but it must be effective communication. Tell the people, what is this money? Not those things you are talking about. I don't want to mention them. There's nothing like that. As long as people are engaged, they will understand. For your own information, some of us who have been in local government, these grants have not started now. At a certain time, during the CDF of yesteryears, they had even abolished grants because councils were not, people were not paying back, were not being responsible. So it is not true that these grants have started now. They were there. Many of the people who are there, they will tell you. So the issue you are bringing of no people thought, yes, we salute this government for increasing. This is what we want. If you know about decentralization, this is the first time I always tell people without politicking. We have been crying about a government that is going to give councils functions and matching resources. Now we have the monies. Then we are telling people, no, this is too much money. This money meant for the ordinary people across the country. So we should be the ones now to explain to the people, this is the ideal governance system, that people should have money to use to get soft loans from the councils, to do their businesses, to venture in agriculture, to venture in buying and selling. So let's do our part. But we cannot fault you. If really you are doing your part in sensitization, then it is gradual. Slowly people will understand and they will take up these loans. But we thank and salute the government that yes, it's good that we have a government that is given a lot of money. But it's your part to go and sensitize them. Next question. Honorable Mwene? I thought we should do. We cannot be repeating. Honorable.
No, it's the same question, but I just want to ask the CS when you have planned to deplete this 100 and this is 150 what? Yes, because this is 2025 and money should have been dispatched already. 2024 passed, and when are you planning to deplete it? And what mechanisms have you put in place to make sure that you deplete this money? You also utilize for 2024 as well as for 2025, or else this money's chair will just be, they will just be there in Lunga chair. unutilized. And the people, with the people on the ground, Chair, if this money is not absorbed by the communities, people think, one, the government is not disbursing the monies.
Correct.
Two, people think that this government is not caring for the communities on the ground, yet it's the council that is not putting in effort to make sure that this money is taken up.
Correct.
You have seen that. So we want the council, Chair, to be proactive. When did you start acting as CS? November last year. Can you please be proactive so that this money is taken up and utilized by the communities? These are the funds that the president decided that they should go to the people on the ground through you councils. You don't deliver this money to the people on the ground. People will not appreciate the president. They will not appreciate the government of the day. And yet the people that are the stumbling block is the council itself. So can you please be proactive and make sure this money is consumed and utilized by the Lunga people? So what mechanisms have you put in place to make sure that this money, I know you are just in office, but you still have a plan to make sure that this money is consumed and utilized by the communities?
Thank you.
I submit, sir.
Well done. 4 million outstanding. What Honorable Kamondo said and what Honorable Mwene is saying should be worrying is to your side. What mechanisms have you done a variation or proposed a variation through the CDF committee to use this money for other purposes? Getting permission from the Minister of Law Government. Because keeping this 4 million for long and there are no people coming to get this money, it's not good. There are a lot of demands and the need areas that you can take this money to. Any actions that you have taken to absorb this money?
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I think this money, the 4 million, has been absorbed. I think it's there in our record. I think what we are talking about is the 151. And this one is going to also be absorbed under the 2025. We haven't started as the CDFC to receive the other applications for the loan and grant.
For 2025, have you received applications? Your friends are giving out. For 2025, have you received applications for loans and grants?
We are still receiving. We are still receiving.
You have not closed up to now?
No, for us the advert is still running. We are waiting for the instruction from the ministry concerning the same.
No. The standard is, you Lunga Council, don't be in your own world. The applications for the ensuing year starts September or August of the previous year. Like for 2026, most of the councils will be dealing with grants and the loans for 2026. They will start in October. The moment the Minister of Finance announces the budget, they already have applications. Right now, next week, Chasef will be giving out grants. We're even late, and loans, because the secular has come to you now. So the secular should find a list already approved. That's what has happened in all the constituencies. Why Lunga? DPO, you have not received the applications for 2025.
We are receiving them soon. The deadline was May 14th, 2025.
Minister of Law Government, can you help these councils? Don't you know, if this is the scenario, there could be other councils who are running a parallel system. Because the instructions that we receive are coming from your ministry. And if there are certain councils, what is the provincial government officer doing in that region? If this is the case, let's make progress. We have other areas. He was director HR. Honorable, let me manage.
Okay.
He was director HR, where that man is acting now. So director HR, the issue here is to do with the planning and engineering. All these issues. It is strange. The issue is not, if we have councils who are running at this in this way, then it is an indication to the Minister of Law Government. I'm happy the Minister is going round than the PS there in Rapula and the Northern. It's important, but you have the office of the provincial law government officers. These guidelines are coming from us. Actually, the councils have been troubling the Minister now. When are you allowing us to give out the loans? Some of the councils already gave out loans. Now, Lunga Council, that's when they are still running an advert. Then we have a problem. No wonder the people of Lunga have challenges. Those people of Lunga who are listening, who can have access to this money, they are being deprived. So, Minister of Law Government, take it up. We shall engage the Minister and to check what these provincial law government officers are doing. If they cannot be engaging these councils, to check what they are doing. So tomorrow they will say the government is mopping up money. The money is sitting, 4 million for loans for 2023. Honorable, let's go to another question in another area. We've dealt so much on grants and loans. Let's have Honorable Mlunda.
Yeah, Chairperson, page 3, page 4.
Page 3, page 4, yes.
On the delayed implementation of projects, director engineer, we have the director engineering. So through your chair, you were at Lunga in 2023?
No, Chair, I went to Lunga in 2024.
2024.
Yes, sir.
All right, Chairperson, I'm looking at the delayed implementation of projects, and I'm on item number 2, the construction of a theater with equipment. In their response, management, Lunga Town Council management, are saying the community of Kasoma Lunga had applied for the construction of an operational theater at Kasoma Lunga Rural Health Center, and the project was approved at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Since these are specialized works, the management requested for standard drawings and specifications for the civil works and specifications for equipment from the Ministry of Health. The action the council took, management has obtained standard drawings and specifications obtained from the Department of Infrastructure for a smaller theater which will be constructed as soon as the procurement process is completed. Find appendix, attached appendix 2. Let's go to appendix 2. Look at the letters. The first letter was from the Minister of Infrastructure, 18th March 2025. This is a 2023 query, 2025. And they are talking of submitting the drawings to the council and the staff. Let's go down on the same after the submission of this. Let's check. There's a letter from Marvin Chilangi. You are here, engineer. The letter was done in...
Is Mr. Chilangi?
And the letter was done, they received the submission from the Minister of Infrastructure, the drawings and the standard drawings and specifications on the 18th of March 2025. On 20th March 2025, the director is writing to the council secretary that they have received the drawings now. Council secretary, do we have your response here to director's letter? Because chairperson, this project was supposed to be done in 2023. They are now busy communicating last month, a month ago, plus.
When they were coming
here? Yes. They pushed the ministry, the Minister of Infrastructure to give them the BOQ, and which the ministry did. And director is writing to the council secretary that we have received these. Now we need to procure, we need to start the works. So I'm asking, has the has the CS responded to the request from Director of Works? Because this is delayed already.
There are two health centers. This one he has mentioned and another one. This one you have mentioned. The other one, they were given the same response by the Minister of Health that the site where they had proposed to build a health facility was already earmarked for government's project to do the same out of the 64 health posts. Are we together? When the Minister of Health wrote to the council abandoned, kept the money without doing anything, without varying it to take to another project. Again, there was a response. They went again to Minister of Infrastructure, who told them that they wrote to them. Same date you are mentioning is there. I've read this entire report. Now, are you the person to give us the responses? Or any one of you who was there in 2023? Because there are serious issues here that we need to find out from your CS. It has been a directive from this committee that if you are coming, you should have come with the one who was there, now is indisposed. Director Engineering, whoever was there, to answer on your behalf. We don't want people to be squeezed who are innocent. So this matter he has brought is a very critical one if you look at this. We started with the grants. If you look at the management of grants and loans, it's very bad. Now the projects, it's worse with the projects if you go through this report. So we would like to know why you have been depriving the people of Lunga the services. If in 2023 this is what happened, what more 2024? No wonder people are not seeing anything, and yet the monies are in your accounts. Honorable Member, I've asked, are you the competent person? We proceed.
Chair, maybe we can add one more thing, because there is a strange scenario in Lunga. Maybe the officers also think this is satanic money. I don't know.
CS, these projects, I just wanted to show you. Have you seen my papers? If I fold like this, I've marked the whole report, I've read it. Are you set to give us the responses on behalf of the people of Zambia and the people of Lunga? Because we want to interrogate this report. But we don't want to be unfair to you. Especially the technical staff like Director Engineering, Procurement if he was there, Audit. If we are okay, we can proceed. Planner, he was there, we are lucky. He was also not there. Where is the planner who was in Lunga now? Where is he? He's in Porokoso. Just a minute. Where is the engineer?
Livingston.
Eh?
Livingston.
Auditor, you were there. Procurement, where is the procurement? Eh? Samba. CS, you are not told that you come with the people who are substantively engaged on these projects during 2023?
Chair, I was told, but part of the team came through in 2023. I think they reported in December, is it November? December.
The engineer came to...
I think he reported, is it 2023, end of 2023? Yes. Equally the planner.
Give us 2 minutes break.
the committee is considering the reports of the Auditor General on the Constituency Development Fund for the financial year ended 31st December 2023, and Lunga Town Council is being led by the acting Lunga Town Council Secretary, that's Mr. Dominic Kampumfi. And so there are certain issues that are not sitting well with the committee, and so the chairperson, Mr. Nyambosa, has actually asked for a few minutes so they can chart the way forward regarding the submission that has been made by Lunga Town Council. So we're going to take a break, and as soon as the committee is ready to meet Lunga Town Council again, we'll cross over to them. Good morning.